It's a mindset. It doesn't matter whether it's me or you or anybody. It's a mindset. It is something that needs to be cured if you ever want to step into a life of abundance. I think it was Joseph Murphy that said, if you're broke or you don't have any money, then you need to seek to be free from the mindset that's holding you in poverty, just like you would seek to be free of any other mental condition or physical illness. It is a condition of the mind. It is a thought process, okay, that would make you believe that you are unable to create wealth in your life. And I want to share with you that the abundance transformation takes time. It is not as easy as many people think it would be, because your mind has been shaped, formed, and conditioned since you were born. So to try to undo all of those thoughts and programs and all these other things, it takes time. Think about a computer, right? A computer, when it's new, it works at optimal speeds. It does everything that you need it to do, but you'll find that over time, you have different malware and cookies and all these different things attaching itself to your computer that will eventually cause it to be limited in speed and also accuracy and the things that it's able to do. Well, in the same way, when you were born, you had no problem believing that you would be clothed and fed and taken care of, and that you didn't have to sit around and worry about things, but that somehow, some way, things would work out and you would have everything that you need. But over time, you became programmed, right, with all these different sayings about money is the root of all evil, and we can't afford this or that. All these different words and different, depending on what your situation was growing up, led you to a place where you started to doubt, okay, that anything was possible. You started to doubt that you would be taken care of, and this fear, this poverty mindset fear, grew up in you, okay? And that is why a lot of people struggle with the idea of wealth. I know that I struggle with it, and I'm still growing, right? Because if I had already tackled the subject, I would be a millionaire, right? So it's just that when I began to learn that the battlefield was in the mind, it was just a phenomenal breakthrough for me. And I really thought that I could just transition, right, with no struggle. Not saying I didn't think I would have to do any work. Oh, I was willing to do the work. But just say, let's just use an analogy or an example, okay? Let's just say I'm on one side of the street, and on the side of the street that I live on, there's houses that are torn down, that are barely standing, there are broken down cars, and all these different things, right? But when you look across the street, you see big, beautiful homes, and people are happy, and cars are new, and all these things around the houses, right, are beautiful, beautiful flowers, all these different things. And I decide, you know what? I'm so sick of this house or this place that I'm in. I'm just gonna walk across the street and live over there. That was my mentality, really. Like, forget this mess. I don't care what I gotta do. I'm just gonna walk over there. Look, Bill Gates gonna look up, and hey, I might not be on the same floor, right? He might be on the penthouse. I might be on the 50th floor or whatever. But the point is, I'm in the same building, right? Okay. You might look up, and Oprah might look around and say, "Wow, who's that fat way over there?" Right? So I was like, some way, somehow, I'm getting into this circle, and it wasn't because I just wanted money. And the thing is, if you just want money, that's okay. It's okay to want money. Is it more okay to want money or not to want money? Okay? It's so silly the way we think about money. If someone is pursuing something in life that's going to take them to a place where they can succeed and excel financially, why is that a bad thing? Why is that greed or whatever? It's not. It's not. I think it's more selfish to remain poor and not utilize the opportunities that you have in this country to better yourself so that you can affect the lives of those who don't have these same opportunities and freedoms. But back to that house. So here it is. I'm like, forget it. I'm deuces. I'm finna walk across the street. I'm finna go over here and hang out with these people. Well, you started walking across the street, right? And it seems like it's so easy. All you have to do is get up, walk across the street. Well, when you get ready to go across the street, you find that there's this spiritual shield or some type of force, right? You can't cross the street. No matter how freaking hard you try, it's like, crap, how do I get over there? So you're like trying or whatever, and the people, they're looking at you, and they're just like, you don't belong over here, right? But anyway, they just keep doing what they're doing because they have this shield, right, up, and they're not worried about you getting over there. They see it. They've seen it a lot. People try to cross the fence, jump the fence, or whatever, but like bulldogs or whatever, all these things, right? These, let's just say a demonic type, something. Imagine that, just like, don't come over here or whatever. Because we know that we don't fight against flesh and blood, but against spirits and principalities, right? So poverty, in a way, is a type of demonic presence, okay? And so I don't care what anybody says, it is, because there's no reason to be broke. God has given us the ability to create things and to be able to even in the beginning there was nothing, right? Nothing, and everything was spoken and created into existence. And at least that's what I believe, and everyone has some type of belief, whether it's that belief or something that really leads back to, okay, things were created some kind of way, right? So which means there's an abundance of creation. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to get too deep into, I'm trying to stay in the area that everyone can relate to. Okay, so yeah, so I'm like, forget this crap. I'm finna go across the fence, right? Like no one else has tried this, right? I didn't see anybody else try to cross the fence or cross the street and get thrown back over there. So I go, I got my bag. I'm like, I'm going over there. Yeah, I don't care. I'm finna make it, and I'm just like fighting, like, oh, I want to have my toe, right? My toe is just about to touch like a piece of grass over there. It's like, throw me back or something. But then you realize, right? It's all a freaking illusion, right? The boundaries are not there. It's in your mind, right? The mind that you've been programmed with since day one. So you're looking at all of these reasons as to why you can't have or have wealth, or why you are not able to cross that fence or cross that street. When I say street, okay, because when you go across the street, you still got to cross the fence and all the stuff that you see, right? But when you were sitting on the porch, you just saw a clear pathway. But when you started walking, you started feeling the forest pushing you back, and you see this big fence, and you started seeing bulldogs and all kinds of stuff yelling at you, telling you, go back over there to poor dog, you don't belong over here, whatever. And you're just like, then you get scared, right? You run back over there. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's all an illusion. Have you ever seen the movie The Labyrinth? I was talking to my son about that the other night, where there's two significant parts in that movie, and one part was when the girl, I can't think of the names right now, but she was looking for something, and this little goblin thing tells her that she found it. She gives her a familiar doll, right? A familiar thing. And she grabs that thing and she's holding on to it. And the little goblin or whatever leads her on into this room that appears to be hers. It appears to be hers. But later, she finds out, she starts looking around and she's seeing all this dust coming out of the ceilings and everything. And then she realizes this isn't real. This isn't real. And everything comes crumbling down, and she sees a clear path, right, that reminds her that she has a purpose, right, that she has something to achieve. In the same way, you're sitting in a situation right? And it looks so real. It looks so like there's no way out, right? And you have to just look up and realize that all of that is illusions. It's all in your head, all of it, because you are capable of doing anything. You're capable of doing anything you put your mind to. But then you move on to the end of that movie, and she's standing there. She's trying to get her brother back, and the clock strikes whatever time, right? 12 or whatever. And now it's too late, right? It's too late that your time's up. But she's standing there, and she's like, you know what? She's like, I don't care what that clock says. You have no power over me. And when she started to say that, you have no power over me, the whole illusion of this scary guy, right, who had all this control over her and over her brother and over her circumstances, he goes away, and now she's free to just go on with her life. Y'all, I'm trying not to shout here, okay? But what I'm telling you guys is, whatever your circumstance or your situation is, you have to believe that it's an illusion. It is an illusion. And I can tell you, I went through something that was so difficult, right? I didn't even share it with anybody. Usually, when I'm going through things, now I can say a while ago, I wasn't this way. But when I found out the power of my mind, when I'm going through something, I don't share it with people, because I know that whatever it is, it's just a limitation that's posing as, it's a temporary limitation that's posing as a permanent circumstance. So whatever I have to do to get my mind in a place to see the solution, to press beyond that point, right, to get to where I need to go, I'm going to do that. And I know if I talk to someone who's not even saying I think better than someone, I'm smarter than anyone, it's just the way that I think and where I'm trying to go in my life right now, I can't afford a setback as far as someone to tell me, girl, just, whatever. I really have to focus in on what I believe. But what I'm saying is, I don't really like to label things. All I know is I believe there's a higher power, and I believe that power is God, and there's more names than God, okay? But what I'm saying is, I have to believe what that report says. And I decided a while ago that when I'm going through something, I'm going to stand on that word. And I'm not saying I'm never going to have to talk to someone, but as much as possible, I try to keep those things to myself so that I can believe, right? Because I don't need anybody else worrying me, like, what are you going to do or whatever. So that's exactly why I do that, because I understand the power of the mind. If you think about this girl going through this maze, right, and this whole time in this movie, she was by herself. So she had to find a way to break through. She had to find a way to break through, right, so that she can become free. Now, if she would have given up when that clock struck 12, or when that clock struck 12, or whatever you want to say, then, okay, she would have never gotten her brother back, and she'd have never been free, because in her mind, she would have saw this limitation, this big wall, this big castle, this big maze that was never there, right, in between her and her destination. So maybe I skipped around a little bit because the subject is so deep that I'm trying to just stay general. But, wherever you are, it's important, imperative, that if you want to change your circumstance, it doesn't mean that you want to be an entrepreneur. It doesn't mean that you want to be whatever. That's between you and God, or between you and your destiny, right? But inside of you where you feel you should be. And if you're not there, your circumstances are only temporary, and they're only temporary as long as you allow them to stay there. So let's just put it like that. I don't know if that makes sense, but they can end as soon as you decide to build your mind to a place to break free from the disease that's holding you in the position that you're in. It's really hard for me to try to sum it up. But the thing is, when I began to listen to these audios, right, listen to books, and just fill my mind with a whole bunch of things that would help me make the transition, help me be cured, right? It's my medicine, right? I began to see changes in my life, because what happened was when my thinking began to change, then my actions began to change, okay? So I had to literally unplug myself from what we call the matrix, right? And begin to decide that that's not the system that I want to live for my life. Now, if that's what someone else wants, then that's what they want. But I don't care what society says I have to do or I have to be. It's not matching what's inside of me. So therefore, this whole thing is an illusion, right? You standing over me telling me that for the next 40 years, I have to live my life in this particular pattern, or I'm weird, abnormal, crazy, or whatever. I don't care. I'm breaking free because you have no power over me. Okay? So that's what I had to say to the limitations. And you guys, when I tell you, you will be tested on that, because I'm telling you, I've been so tested, and it was a point where I almost broke down and picked up my phone and had already saw myself crying and telling this sad story about all the stuff that was going on and how and I just said, no, I do not receive that report. I do not receive that report. I believe the report of the Lord. I believe that I'm abundant. I believe that I'm prosperous. I believe, all these different things I began to say. Because if you sink into self-pity whenever you're trying to change your mindset and you're trying to change your path in life, if you sink into self-pity, then you are you're going back, okay, to your addiction of poverty, okay? So that is it. And when I really come out with this story, y'all gonna be blown away of some of the things I've had to walk through, okay? Walk through to even begin to take this pathway, because you're gonna begin to see some blessings in my life. You're gonna begin to see some things that's gonna blow your mind as to how when you change your mindset, how things begin to happen for you. But like I said, as I walk through this path and go through this journey, it's some things that I'm just not willing to share at this point, because you know what? It's still too fragile. It would be like, let's just say someone decided they wanted to quit smoking, and then they quit smoking, but a month later they go to a bar where everyone's smoking. Okay, then what will happen is they may regress, right? Where they were almost over that hump where they could just quit smoking. Now they're going to regress because they're in an environment that they're not prepared for. So I know what I can handle and what I can't handle. And it's sometimes where I'm at this place where I'm building my mind for something crazy, something insane beyond belief, right? That when I say beyond belief, not for the average millionaire, but for the average person who's never even thought about being a millionaire, right? So the things that, when I'm just using money as an example, but it really is not even that, right? The things that I've been believing for, that is some of it, but it was some other things. Okay. But the thing is that it's so fragile, right? That I can't share it right now. I don't want to talk about the struggle, and all these things, right? I just want to focus on the solution and focus on the blessings and the abundance that I believe is coming. Because see, if I focus on the other things that I've had to walk through, just things, my son, all these other things that I've had to deal with, right? Then I would not be able to press on, right, to the next level of destiny or whatever. So hopefully that makes sense, that you really can cross that street. You can go over there. It seems hard, and all those things that are telling you don't belong there, all those people who are being mean to you, saying you don't belong over here, or those that are just looking at you like you're crazy because you kind of got across the little barrier. Now you're trying to cross the fence, and there's bulldogs barking at you that don't really exist, right? So you can do it. But it's all a mindset. If you don't develop your mind, it will never happen. Now they have these new video games out, right? Where you put something on your head and it can control your thoughts, or you can think something. You don't have to move your arms or your hands or anything. You just think it and the machine creates it, right? So if that is possible, wouldn't you say it's possible for your thoughts to create the reality around you? It's very possible, right? And on top of that, it's been proven that our thoughts are like electric electronic little, I don't know, waves or whatever. So they are strong and they create things. So that's why, if you read the Bible, it always tells you to guard your mind, guard your heart, guard all these things, because why? You can be controlled by the messages that you're receiving in your mind, right? And you begin to think what someone else thinks is success, what someone else thinks is beautiful, what someone else thinks, right? So just because I have a goal, which is so deep, you can't even look at my goal and say, hey, I want to just be just like that, because you don't know the whole why, right? And to say that, do you really want to walk through the things I've had to walk through to even begin to see, on the other side of the fence? So just peeking over there, So it's just that you have to know yourself, what's going on within you. You have to believe that regardless of where you are right now, that it's possible. And if you believe that, you have to start building your mentality. That's why it's important that you log in and you listen to these Wealthy Mind audios so that you can begin to build that mindset. So what I've done over there at Earn Money Online Daily with tdaviscole.blogspot.com, check the description box for a direct link. But what I've done over there is I began to upload the books that I can find for free that I've read. Now, some of them you can't find for free, like the 4-Hour Work Week. I tried to find Rhinoceros Success and some other things, but some of them you just have to buy. But the ones that I could find for free, I started to upload them so that you could just see the journey, right? And a lot of those books I have to go back and listen to again because I haven't arrived. It's just that I understand now that it's my mentality. And if something happens, like I told you, the situation I had to walk through, and I almost broke down, like I almost just not gave up. I don't give up. I'm just, no. If I give up at something, it's because something that's not in my heart. But when it's something I'm passionate about, I really don't. It has to be something that's resonating with me. And if it doesn't really resonate with me, I don't care what anyone says to me. I'm not going to be comfortable doing it. So that's it. So, but I was just at that place where it was just hard. It was just hard. But I understood that I could not speak poverty. I could not feel sorry for myself. I could not lay there and cry and lick my wounds. I could not. It's like the hardest thing, right? Because sometimes we're so used to being without things that we thrive off of that. We thrive off of the idea of the struggle, right? We thrive off the struggle. But what about when everything's great, when everything's taken care of, right? What would your life be like then? Who are you really? If your whole life is all about, you got to get that next paycheck, you're just trying to make it, if that's what your whole focus in life is, what's going to happen when you change your mindset and you're wealthy, right? And wealthy is really having enough for you to carry out the destiny in your life. So whatever that wealth is to you, when you're in that place, what about then? What are you going to do then? Okay? So that's it. I mean, it was just like walking through this thing and literally having to keep my mouth shut and literally having to continue to say everything's going to be okay and I am abundant and I am wealthy. So this is what I did. This is what I'm about to share with you, and then I'm going to let you go, okay? I listened to this book called Heal Yourself by Louise Hayes, and this was probably about a year ago when I ran across this book, but it was in a timely manner. It was the time that I needed it the most. But what I found was that she had a lot of abundance affirmations in there. So what I did was I wrote every last one of them down, and I began to recite them to myself, and I also made an audio of myself reading those things so that I could put headphones on and listen to them. Why? Because, again, if you're in lack or if you've been in lack in your life, you understand that it's a mental condition. So in order to heal or overcome a mental condition, you have to do what? Retrain your brain. And you have to debug all of the viruses out of there. Right? So, and don't put them back in there. Don't let them back in there. I mean, I'm not saying I don't watch TV, but when I do, I might watch one movie. And that's probably why everybody's wondering, why is she talking through the whole movie and she getting so excited? Because I'm so excited, like I'm watching TV. It's freaking exciting. Y'all don't see this? So, but the thing is, I try to be careful not to put too much garbage in there because I understand I could get a virus. And if I get a virus, then my mind is sick. And if my mind is sick, then it's producing sick, broke ideas and thoughts, right? But when your mind is well, it's going to produce a well energy, and it's going to produce well thoughts, and it's going to produce wealthy thoughts. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to read these abundance affirmations to you. You're welcome to put on headphones and listen to them. And, once you are acquainted with them and you start to let them seep into your very being, then you're welcome to go ahead and write them down and make your own audio, right? Because your mind is going to respond best to your own voice. And you have to continue to tell your subconscious mind that I am well, I am well, I am well, I am well. Even when you get to that place where if you want to sink down in pity because of something, don't do it. Don't give in to it. Do not. If you start to, just stop right there. Say, you know what? I have power over this. You have no power over me. Okay? And, believe that and pray. I have to pray. I have to pray and say, God, I'm standing on your word no matter what it looks like. I am standing on your word, right? And I am a person of faith, so I'm not going to hide my face for this audio, but I'm not going to start preaching either. It's just the point I'm trying to drive home is that is the mentality. So with that all being said, and hopefully when I go back and listen to this audio, it's not too all over the place, but I believe that you will get the gist of what I'm trying to say. Again, I am new at making these audios, so they will get better over time. Maybe I could try to soften my voice a little bit and drive people in with the love, because I'm usually very hardcore, straight to the point. Look, this is what it is and I don't care. But, I have to try to, be a little bit, whatever. So anyway, I'm going to read these abundance affirmations and they will help you, again, begin to believe that you are well. And if you're not, then you keep listening to them until you are, right? Get all the sick thoughts out of your head. If they make you feel nasty, if they make you feel bad, if you're getting ready to say something, and you feel bad about what you're about to say, just don't say it. Don't say it. Stop talking about people. Just don't do it. Okay? Stop speaking words, because think about it. When you're talking about someone, they're human and you're human. And Maya Angelou said, well, how can one human be more human than another? You can't. There's no way. So when you're talking about them, you're talking about your own human nature, right? Okay, don't say anything bad about money. If someone's making money and you don't have anything nice to say about them, don't say nothing at all. Because there's no way that you can attract money and reject money at the same time. It's not possible, right? So you have to, it is so serious. And if it wasn't, then we would all be one way, right? Why is it some people are wealthy and some people are poor? And if you listen to the people who, again, make sure you understand, wealth is not a dollar amount. Yeah, in the dictionary it may say that, but wealth is a way of life. It is a way of being. I mean, if you go to my page, you'll see this guy, he has no arms and legs. He's traveling the world preaching the gospel. And I think even he said that, he would rather not have any money and have God than to have all the money in the world and not have God. But he said it, and I believe that, because look at his condition. A lot of people would not want to live anymore, and they wouldn't even be able to handle not having arms and legs. But him standing there with no arms and legs, being able to preach the gospel, being happy with his life, and even defeating all odds, right? Getting married and having a child, right? So, I mean, that shows you now, if you hear that, you go, ooh, he has no arms and legs and he has a child. Well, you're just now cursing yourself, right? Because now you're speaking against your own humankind. And you're speaking against God's creation, because God created him. So you have to, and that doesn't make him not normal. What makes him not normal is the way we think is normal, right? So that's it. Stuff like that, you have to stop doing. You got to stop doing it. And so anyway, but just listen to his story. But even when he said that, he's not broke, right? Because he travels the world. He's preaching the gospel, right? He's providing for his family. He's not broke. Why? Because he's doing what's inside of him, which is spreading the message of hope and happiness no matter what, right? Stepping out on faith no matter what your life is like. and being happy, no matter what it is. Even while you're in the midst of your dream, you have to find a way to be happy. You have to find a way to just say, no matter what, I'm going to be happy. There's some things I'm going to share with y'all that I went through on this journey, and it's just going to be mind-blowing. And it's just going to be mind-blowing of what I had to do with some decisions I had to make. It's hard for me not to tell you right now, but it's some decisions I had to make. Some things that I just decided I wasn't going to do anymore, right? Some things I'm just not going to apply for anymore. If you get my drift. It's just done. I'm done, right? I am well, right? God has given me enough courage and enough strength and enough creativity to produce wealth in my life, right? So, I will share in great detail this journey as it goes along, when I feel led and I feel ready. But right now, I'm still like that person, right, who just quit smoking. Even though I started the mind journey a while ago, it's still, over 30 years of private thinking and trying to undo it in 2, because even though, that first 2 years I was listening to books and stuff, I didn't really get it. So this last 2 years is when I really started to, really work within me. Now, does that mean you have to go a long time before you get any results? No, but what it means is that it's just going to be a journey. It's just not going to happen overnight. So that's it. You have to celebrate every success that you have. Every success, like me not melting down and calling everybody and breaking down and saying, hey, this is what's going on in my life. Man, look, you know what? You don't have no power over me. I don't care what that situation looks like. You know what I'm saying? Because guess who said that I have power and authority over that? God, right? So I believe that. And not only that, I believe that I have the ability to believe what I want to believe. I don't believe your stupid reports. Okay? So that's it. Y'all know I can go on and on. But I'm going to go ahead and get into these affirmation, abundance, thinking type things or whatever, so that you can understand what it's really going to take for you to change your mentality if that's what you desire to do. And I have to be careful, because when I talk authoritative. If you study people, they all have different ways of talking. Mine is authoritative. I just don't have time to play around. I'm just like, hey, it's going to be a certain group of people attracted to me, a certain group of people just who aren't. I just can't play in the middle. I'm either all in or I'm all out. That's just me. I can't do the whole middle play around. That, to me, that's just wasting time. Let's make a decision and move on. Okay? So now you know who you're dealing with, right? So let's see if anybody will listen to my audios after this. But anyway, so now I'm going to soften it up a little bit. I'm going to do these abundance affirmations. Again, log in. I think it's going to be right at about 35 minutes where the affirmations start. So you could just go ahead, if you already heard this message, you could just go ahead and skip to that. Or you can go to Louise Hayes' book, or you could just listen to this part and stop here and just write them down for yourself and record them for yourself. Okay, but anyway, so here we go. Abundance and prosperity is my birthright. I expect lavish abundance every day in every way. I can easily imagine myself having limitless abundance. My grateful heart draws abundance like a magnet. This day is filled with endless expressions of abundance. My income is growing higher and higher. I open to the flow of abundance in every area of my life. I am living abundantly. Abundance and I are one. The more abundantly I live, the more abundance I receive. I always have whatever I need. I absolutely attract abundance. The whole universe is conspiring to make me prosperous and abundant. I now release the gold mine within me. My consistent focus is on abundance, and it draws itself to me. Everything that is good is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Abundance flows easily when I relax. I love having truly effortless abundance. I believe I have more abundance now. I am passionate about my wealth and building more wealth. I create prosperity easily and effortlessly. It's so easy to open to prosperity. All of my needs are met instantly. My life is prosperous. I am successful because I know what I need, and I ask for it, and I receive it. I am prosperous. I am prosperous. I am prosperous, and I will always be prosperous. I live life abundantly. Money flows to me easily. The universe gives me great abundance. I have unlimited abundance. Let me say that again. I have unlimited abundance. I expect the best and I get the best now. I deserve financial abundance that I have, and it's continually flowing into my life right now. Prosperity within me, prosperity around me. I allow the universe to bless me with great abundance now. I see myself as wealthy, and that is who I am. My life is full of love and joy and all the material things I need and want. I am easily led to the abundance that I desire. I give thanks that I am now rich, well, and happy. I give thanks for my riches, my wealth, and my happiness. Today I expand my awareness of the riches around me. I am thankful for the abundance and prosperity in my life. I am prosperous. I am well. I am healthy, and I live in abundance. I enjoy my prosperity and share it freely with the world. Every day, in every way, I am becoming more and more prosperous. I give thanks for the prosperity which is mine by divine right. Everything and everyone prospers me now. I believe anyone can be wealthy, and that includes me. Feeling joyful attracts abundance. I love abundance and prosperity, and I attract it naturally. I spend my money wisely. I am deserving of abundance no matter what. I attract prosperity like a powerful magnet. I have the power to attract money. I love abundance in all of its beautiful forms. My mind is powerful, and it's a powerful magnet for profitable ideas. I am willing to be more abundant now. All resistance to prosperity has resolved in total grace. I am asking for abundance, and I allow abundance into my life. Great wealth is flowing to me now. I am relaxing into greater abundance. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. My prosperity is unlimited. My success is unlimited now. I see abundance everywhere around me. I create prosperity in my life. Abundance is my divine birthright. I live the abundant life. I now draw the highest, best, and most prosperous-minded people to me. Thank you, universe, for my great abundance. I let go of all resistance to prosperity, and prosperity comes to me naturally. So you guys have just heard the wealthy mindset abundance affirmation. Okay, so listen to them, and I would encourage you to write them down and to record some for yourself so that you can have them to use and to listen to, and begin to develop that consciousness within yourself that you are wealthy, that you are abundant. And remember that there's no real shield keeping you from crossing the street. Those bulldogs aren't even real at that gate. Not even there. And I don't care if they say you don't belong over there. You can go wherever you want because you don't have any limits, right? You can do it. So it's up to you to make the decision to be wealthy or poor. That's as simple as it is. You can justify your thinking to stay in poverty, or you can change your thinking into transitioning into wealth. It's up to you which one you'll choose. No matter what your circumstances look like, you still have to continue to believe that you are wealthy. You cannot allow that to scare you. Remember, go back to the labyrinth where she realized in the end that none of that stuff had any power over her. And it wasn't until she got to that place, that mentally free place, that she became really free. So that freedom is going to take time to develop. It's going to take time to change your mindset. But wouldn't it be great to start today, to take a step